I got to watch something super cool while at the 30th Annual Hummingbird Festival at the Woodlands Nature Station in Land Between the Lakes over in western Kentucky. Hummingbird banding. We were super lucky and got to set up our backyard ecology tent right next to the tent where Southeastern Avian Research, or SEAR, had their banding station located. It was non-stop hummingbird action all weekend. We are going to get to all the cool stuff about how hummingbirds are banded, but first I'll let Cindy Routledge, who is the leader of SEAR and a federally licensed master bander, explain why we band hummingbirds.
Why do we band hummingbirds?
Yeah.
It's because we create a research question, like how long do they live?
Right.
So how long do they live? So we put a band on a bird, a bunch of birds, and then we just we catch them year after year. And so when we don't catch them for a couple of years, we can assume that they're gone, but we can do simple math and find out how old they are. So like there was a bird here this weekend that the band was put on in 2021 as an adult. So the bird was aged as an adult the first time the band was put on, which means it was at least a year old. It could have been older, but we can only say it's at least a year. So that bird was 6 years old. So I had a 6-year-old bird in my hand yesterday. So age. We can learn about dispersal, where are they going? We can learn about population trends up and down. We can learn migration routes, health of the species. You can design a question and a project to figure out a lot of things, just come up with a question. I mean, from banding, for instance, we learned that these birds are extremely faithful to their breeding and their feeding grounds because we catch the same ones over and over, to the point of on the same day, in the same hour, 2, 3, and 4 years. Yes. So, I mean, it's really amazing.
Those are just a few of the reasons for banding a hummingbird. The questions that can be answered from marked recapture data are almost endless. Of course, in order to put a band on a hummingbird's leg, the hummingbird first must be captured, without hurting it and without causing it undue stress. This is accomplished with a very cool and quite simple trap that I will let one of the SEAR volunteers explain.
Glorified bird cage, and it's designed so that when the hummingbird flies in, a lot of people think it automatically trips, but the hummingbird will go in and feed. We got a little remote control that hits the housing up here and down it goes. Then as the bird's flying around, we can reach in, gently grab it, kind of cup it in our hand, and then place it, one bird in one bag, into the bag, breathable, and can hang then for Cindy to go and band it. And she can band a bird in about 3 minutes, so the bird's under really no stress. Matter of fact, it gets in here, it's actually kind of calm. So that's it, simply.
The traps have a feeder inside to bait the hummingbirds into it, but to make sure the birds are coming to the trap location, other feeders are set up around it. Once a good number of birds are coming to the feeders around the trap are removed, leaving the feeder inside the trap as the only option for food. When a hummingbird flies into the trap and is busily feeding, the trap observer triggers the trap and the door closes, preventing its escape. The bird is then gently scooped up by hand, transferred to a mesh bag, and taken to the banding station to await its turn to have measurements taken, a band applied, and then be released. If you love to learn how we gather data about our backyard birds, like the beloved ruby-throated hummingbird, then be like a hummingbird and pollinate that like button. Before we get into the details about how a hummingbird is processed at a banding station, I do want to emphasize that you must be properly federally and state licensed and also be trained in order to band hummingbirds, or any migratory or songbird species. Now let's watch Cindy band a hummingbird.
So this is a new bird. I can tell right off this is a hatchier bird. This is a female.
How do you know it's a female?
I'll show you. 80 is the grooves. In ruby-throated hummingbirds, again, because this is something we learned from banding, they have, you can look at the 6th primary feather, 100% of the time know whether it's male or female. So hummingbirds have 10 primary feathers or flight feathers. And you just count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and it's this feather here I'm looking at. And it's that rounded shape and feathering on both sides of the races or the vein that runs down the center makes it a female. If it was a male, this would be very pointy and there would be no feathering above. So that's something else we learned from banding. In the beginning, you know, we caught a lot of adult males and adult females. You can tell those right off because the female will always have the white, creamy throat and the male will always have the color. So then we took those adults and we compared them. What is different? And we looked at then hundreds of them. And then we were able to see that that 6th primary feather just makes the difference.
So you do this 2 days of banding when all the people are here. How much, is that all the banding you do in the year?
No, we come up here in June and do some breeding banding. But I have 18 other locations that I go to through the whole scene. Yeah.
With this location probably twice,
3 times.
3 times, yeah.
216.
Huh.
Yes.
Are you the only one banding in this area?
Yeah, in this area.
They don't fight you when you're looking at them.
Everyone
They
has
don't make sounds.
everyone has a different personality.
Okay.
She's actually whining.
Oh, that is her.
She's making the noise?
Uh-huh.
She doesn't have a song, but she doesn't make noise.
Okay. Are they territorial? Like
Extremely.
Very.
44, 74,
territorial. So that one red one.
27. Listen, hummingbirds, they might be look delicate, they might look ethereal, but they're mean, hateful creatures.
You probably noticed that Cindy is taking quite a few measurements on these hummingbirds. I'll let her explain the things that she is measuring and are part of all the data taken on each bird.
So I'm measuring, the wing, the tail, 3, 4, 5. The wing, the tail, the bill, the culmen or the bill. And again, there's ranges for females and ranges for males. So we always are trying to refine those ranges. One thing that we have found out in Anna's hummingbirds, I just read this paper, Anna's hummingbirds are found out west in California, and they're in Arizona, they're in Nevada, out that way. Their bills are evolving to be longer and thinner because of our feeders.
Oh, wow. Because the flowers, they didn't need it, but for all the feeders we had.
So again, we wouldn't have known that if we didn't take all those measurements and watch them get thinner and longer over time.
Now Cindy was talking and answering questions while processing that hummingbird, so it took a little bit longer than usual. Here's what it looks like in more of a real-time situation.
It's really light.
Yep.
Hatch year male, 2 gorget feathers. So this is a young male. He was probably born sometime in the last 6 to 8 weeks. And he's just hanging out here. And he's going to be leaving soon.
1, 2, 1.
In order to leave, he needs to get fat. Birds don't normally carry fat. It's just extra weight. So they only put on fat when it's time to go because the fat is the fuel that enables them to make their migratory journeys. $38. 83, 26, 1690. Grooves are 90. 315.
That was fast. And Cindy still explained a bit to the crowd of onlookers. After the data is taken and the bird is banded, it is ready for release, which is done by simply setting the bird in the open palm of your hand. They generally don't stick around long. If that was too quick, here is a release in slow motion, which still looks fast. If you are ever at the Hummingbird Festival at Woodlands Nature Station, you may even get the chance to have a hummingbird take off from your hand. Want more ruby-throated hummingbirds in your yard? Of course you do! And to help you create a yard that not only attracts hummingbirds, but provides for all of their needs, we have created a handy guide to help you achieve that goal. This easy-to-follow guide and workbook will walk you through the steps to transform your yard into a place that will draw hummingbirds from spring migration through the summer until they migrate south in the fall. You can get the Hummingbird Habitat Guide directly from us as a PDF at the link in the pinned comment and description, or just use the QR code to go directly to it. If you are wondering if the banding process stresses and traumatizes the birds, they don't seem to be too affected by it, and recapturing the same bird later in the day is not uncommon. Recaptures from year to year are also common, so the evidence suggests that birds go on to have healthy and productive lives. The first day of the Hummingbird Festival, over 150 hummingbirds were captured and processed at this banding station, with around 40% of those being recaptures. Like I said, it was non-stop hummingbird action. If you would like to learn more about Southeastern Avian Research and the work they do, I will have a link to their website in the pinned comment and description, or you can just use the QR code to go directly there. Hummingbirds are by far one of the most beloved of our backyard birds. They are beautiful, graceful, and have a ton of attitude packed into a tiny package. They are also one of the most commonly fed backyard birds, and there are some things that can be done to ensure that they are being fed in a way that meets their nutritional needs and keeps them healthy. And you can learn all about the proper way to feed hummingbirds in this video, and be sure to take some time and enjoy nature in your backyard.